we are telling our story. How I met my wife.
September 2018, I had just had my son Oliver. So I had 2 children and was married.
2018, I was in Nigeria. Long time ago, I always knew that this country wasn't for me anyway. I always wanted to see the world, travel around, see the world. So prior to that, I've traveled before. So yeah, I was doing all this stuff, spiritual enlightenment and all that, law of attraction, just to get myself out of Nigeria. I think I wrote down 10 things I want to do before the end of 2019, and it wasn't up to 20 days I achieved all those things.
Unfortunately, the marriage it wasn't great. And by Christmas time 2018, I was starting to emotionally check out of the marriage. June 2019, I decided enough was enough and I ended the marriage. I was fed up, tired of going through so much and my children witnessing that.
I left Nigeria 2019, towards the end of 2019, and went to Ivory Coast.
That period of time was really difficult because it was full of so many uncertainties, but equally it was really liberating because it was a chance for me to finally find myself again.
So one of the reasons why I left Nigeria and went to Ivory Coast is for a really good business, yeah, a life-changing business. So, but that story is not meant for the internet. So yeah, sorry, you ain't having that. When the business wasn't going to make sense, where I was staying, the guy he didn't even tell us directly that he was going to kick us out, me and one other guy that was staying with him at the time. What he did is that he just said, okay, I'm going to take you guys to the street and blah, blah, blah. You're going to live here. And he didn't just say, look, yeah, I'm kicking you guys out. He played it smartly. Fair play to him. Yeah, but we went, imagine he took us to this place. We were sleeping on the street. Imagine living your home where you have you have a house and you have your own room at least, and going to another country where you think you have somewhere you're sleeping, and all of a sudden you've got nowhere to sleep. So yeah, I can't imagine that I was homeless. We were homeless. So after then, we were there for about few days. Then we started living in a church. In Ivory Coast, it's very difficult to get a job if you're not speaking French, because it's a French-speaking country, it's a francophone country. It's very difficult to get a job. Yeah, but for me, I like hustling. I said, what are the Nigerians doing? Most of them are selling clothes. Okay, they're selling clothes, they're earning a living. That is what I want to go and do as well, because I have to be doing something. The one thing I hate, people that know me, one thing I hate is begging people for money. I hate asking people for money. If somebody is doing it, I want to go and do it, because I don't have time to be disturbing people. Can you give me this? I don't have that time. If there's something for me to do, I go and do it and earn my money. Everything I've ever gotten in this life, I've earned it.
January 2020, me and my group of friends went to London and we were going to an event. I can't remember what it was called, but it was some, I don't know, like photography, like take pictures type thing. And oh my gosh, I felt so old. Everyone there was young. They were doing these TikTok trends and dances, and I had no idea what TikTok was. No idea. But I remember thinking at that point of time, I am too old for TikTok.
So while I was living in the church, there is this guy. His name is Samson. I'm gonna call his name. His name is Samson. So he started taking me to his business, started taking me out. Like, we'll go out for the day. I will get daily bread and all that. He would take me to his brother's house. We'll stay. Sometimes I will not stay in the church. Sometimes I will stay with them. Sometimes. So that was going on. He just said, yeah, Bright, just leave the church. Come and be staying with me. So I left the church. I was staying with him and his brother. Yeah, the house was not really his house, but it was his elder brother's house. So I was just staying with him. Yeah, so we'll go to business, sell clothes and all that.
Lockdown hit. And I think everybody remembers what that time was like. So lockdown hit and it was boring. So I decided to download TikTok. I was just scrolling like everybody else, just mindlessly scrolling. But there was a part of me that was like, hang on a minute. I could really build my confidence on this platform and I could start talking about topics that I really want to talk about. Anybody who knows me knows that my like goal one day is to do a TED talk. And so I started doing videos. And at first it was more like just doing the odd trend. I look back now, cringe, I've deleted those videos. But then I started to talk about things that were more sensitive and things that I had been through, my lived experience of being through an abusive relationship and also solo parenting.
So one day, guy came. The guy was traveling. I only saw this guy for one day, and he said, "Have you got TikTok?" I said, "No, I'm not on TikTok." He said, "You know what? Go and get TikTok, and you will thank me later." The guy was traveling. We're only helping him, giving him accommodation because his flight is booked. Before the following day, we take him to the airport. Then he gets his flight and gone. I only saw that guy for one day.
I was also setting up my own business with my business partner because we'd effectively been made redundant. I knew I couldn't go and work for somebody else again. Like I had to work for myself. And we had the skill set to do it. We knew what we was doing with digital marketing. We knew what we was doing with web design. We knew what we was doing with e-commerce. We had worked in the industry for so many years.
I've been doing lots of meditation. I don't know. I don't really know if I wasn't even looking for love, like looking for a relationship and all that. But I was doing lots of meditation. I was so happy. I had nothing. I was basically starting afresh, but I was so happy. Like my mind was so pure. I've told myself that, look, there is no point of blaming anybody for your life or whatever. You just have to accept the position you are.
I was also going through spiritual enlightenment and also practicing law of attraction and doing meditation and writing. During this time, I was finding that I was getting to a place where I was really quite happy and really finding myself again and knowing what I wanted to achieve.
2020 and TikTok was just growing massively. So yeah, I was just scrolling, watching videos. We went to the market to sell, and my friend Samson asked me like, "Look, you don't have a girlfriend. When are you gonna have a girlfriend in this country?" Like I said, "Look, I'm not ready for any girlfriend. My destiny is to marry a white woman, a white wife. That is my destiny." He said, "Look at me like I'm a thief." It was just like, like I'm not serious. Like I'm like if he, to him, he felt like that is an unrealistic thing. Well, which I wouldn't blame in any way. The position we had at that time.
But there was one thing that my friends kept going on about that I just was not interested in, and that was looking for love. Whilst I wasn't really interested in looking for anybody, I did write in my diary about the type of man that I wanted in the future. So life was quite good. I was happy, I was growing in confidence, and then come September,
I was on TikTok. I saw my wife now, and a video, and I commented and messaged her, and instantly the connection was there.
Little did I know that one comment and message would change our whole lives.